What it is, dope. It's your boy Crook LDB Team 100. We in here, sure. I'm back with another reaction video. Y'all already know we react to Jimmy High Roller on this channel. He's one of the GOATs of this basketball content. I always love watching his videos because we learn a few things, you feel me? And this is, I think the NBA is broken. So there's been there's been some definitely good moments throughout the last few weeks. You know, the KD and Joel Embiid going back and forth. Russell Westbrook, man, the NBA has been crazy last couple weeks. And guys, it's only 6 to 7 games left of the regular season, and then the play-in tournament is here. So we about to get lit for this playoffs. I ain't gonna lie, we definitely gonna try to get lit for this channel on the playoffs and all that. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Comment down below who's your favorite team, who you got in the play-in, who you got coming out of the East or West and in the finals, things like that. But without further ado, let's get right into it, man.
Made a video about how NBA players are scoring less points this season, and rule changes have made high-scoring games harder to come by than ever before. Well, things have changed.
Ooh, a fresh pie? Save me a slice. That's good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's... Alright, that's good. Okay. Alright, all right.
Oh, everybody's scoring 40.
That's good. It's enough slices!
Hey, yo, I ain't gonna lie. I just realized that, like, it has been a sudden increase of, like, 40-point games, but I think that's what the league want, yo. Like, I really think that that's the reason why the league has been pushing everything to be so fast-paced. It just seems so appealing when a player drops 40. Like, if you just look at different players like Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, players like those thrive and playing in a fast-paced environment. Even though Luka Doncic, he's kind of not like a fast-paced player. He kind of plays at his own, pace, but just seeing them just go crazy for like 40 is just like so entertaining. Not even gonna lie, bro. Not even gonna lie. Because out of them 40 points, it's probably gonna be like 8 points of them is gonna come off of step backs, behind the I don't know, behind the back fake out, something like that, like or fadeaways. Like it's always entertaining to watch, bro. I think the league intentionally did that though.
Over the last couple of weeks, players are dropping more 50 bombs than Kobe in 07. Collectively, the entire league spent the first 3 months of the season going through the worst scoring drought in over a decade. But now, seemingly out of nowhere, we are getting massive scoring nights and career highs literally every single night. Is this huge bump in scoring due to some sort of competitive race? One guy has a big night and others join in to see if they can top it. Are players putting up bigger numbers because the league has decided to relax on the strict rule changes they made at the beginning of the season? Or is something much bigger going on here? The one odd to the easiest $200 you'll in the draft. This NBA season got off to a pretty rocky start in terms of offense. Team scoring was down, player scoring was down, and efficiency was down. Among the top players in the league, there virtually wasn't a single player who was outperforming expectations, or even meeting expectations for that matter. We saw the first 50-point game of the season on November 8th, just 19 days after the start of the season. We wouldn't see the second 50-point game until December 12th, 2.5 months into the season and just 2 50-point games to show for it. Things began to heat up a bit in January with 4 50-point games in a single month. And closing out the end of February, the league added 2 more 50-point bombs, bringing the season total up to just 8. But on that last day of February, Ja Morant dropped a career-high 52 points against the Spurs. And then all hell broke loose. 5 days later, LeBron drops 56 points, the third highest single game total of his entire career. The next day, Jason Tatum scores 54.
And I ain't gonna lie, what was crazy is I believe I was talking to like a friend of mine, and I was comparing different LeBrons. I said, out of all LeBrons, would you have rookie LeBron, Miami LeBron, comeback Cleveland LeBron, or the Lakers LeBron? I said the last LeBron that will ever be as dominant as scoring said the Miami Heat LeBron. He said the return to Cleveland LeBron, which I think they both put up numbers. But, I mean, the Cleveland LeBron put up a little bit better numbers. We still remember that game one of the finals where he put up 51. I mean, if I mean, comeback Cleveland could still do that. But Miami Heat LeBron was still in his prime. I would have never thought that LeBron in a Lakers uniform would ever put up over 50 points. I'm not even going to lie. I just thought that he just didn't have it anymore. And everyone talks about the load that he has to carry. Me personally, I just thought that over 35 years old, he wasn't going to be able to put up over 50. And he proved me wrong twice. So, that was just something interesting I was just looking at.
Points. 3 days later, LeBron scores 50. 2 days after that, Durant drops 53 points in just his 5th game back off of an injury. The next day, Karl Anthony Towns drops a career-high 60 points. And then the very next day, Kyrie Irving pops off for a career-high 60 points as well. The man is a part-time NBA player. And right when you thought this blistering scoring run was over, Sadiq freaking Bey drops a career-high 51 points against the Magic. What's going on? Usually, NBA fans are lucky if we get to watch a couple 50-point games in a single month. We just saw 9 50-plus point games in 18 days. In fact, the 8 50-point games in the month of March are the most in a single
I feel like the league wants this, though.
60
I definitely
years.
feel like the league wants,
Guys, we are
the
only
increase in
18
scoring, though.
days into the month.
It just looks
That's
better.
Crazy enough. Here's a stat that'll really hurt your head. Out of the last 20 NBA seasons, only 9 of them had more than 8 50-point performances for the entire season, which means in just 18 days, the NBA has produced more 50-point games than 11 of the last 20 seasons. Just a few months ago, we were watching superstars struggle to even get 30. And now we got Kyrie Irving scoring 41 points in the first half, Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench for 45, and an old man going for 56. So, what changed?
I ain't seen the Jordan Clarkson one. Damn,
the
off the
explanation
bench.
behind all these massive offensive games is very simple. Steph drops
Shout out to
47
Jordan
on his birthday.
shout out to Jordan Clarkson, bro. He
Anthony
found his
Towns puts
home.
up a career-high 60 on the anniversary of a very significant day in his life. Kyrie and Durant each having monster games after their game against Philly and James Harden. I think I see what's going on here. The NBA's best players are playing one big game of anything you can do, I can do better. Fueled by their innately competitive nature, these players are finding absolutely any reason to tee off on 30 shots and throw the playbook out the window as they barrel their way into the paint for another and one. Ja Morant's 52-point game was the first of this 3-week-long scoring barrage. But I think it really started with LeBron's 56. After watching LeBron go berserk, stars around the league took the opportunity to one-up him, or at least put on their best show. The Celtics have been on fire, so Tatum decides to take the liberty of giving himself a huge night by putting up a career-high 15 three-point attempts. Now, no one goes out and just attempts 15 threes, and those 54 points were no mistake. Jason Tatum went out of his way to have a career night. In the midst of talks regarding health and politics, Kyrie drops off a 50-point game. As a reminder that despite his
But for real, to be honest with you, even though it's not going to happen, I definitely feel like Kyrie feels like that he has to do that. And it's only from the standpoint of everyone having an opinion on his vaccination status. Every single question he's going to get every time he leaves, he leaves that arena is your vaccination status. You know, what are you going to do? Are you going to get vaccinated? Then Kevin Durant's going to get, how do you feel about Kyrie not like that? His vaccination status is always going to be the main focal point of him being interviewed. So I feel like the only way for him to actually get rid of those talks, he got to perform. It's the same thing, in my opinion, as if the baby situation about his whole turmoil where they took him off of all the concerts because he said the homophobic comments and stuff like that. They're going to try to not derail you because it's the reporter's job to report on especially the hottest topics in the world. But I feel like the only thing that you can do as a musical artist, you got to drop music. And then not only drop music, you got to drop bangers. You got to drop fire music to the point where they're not going to care. They have to acknowledge the talent. We have to acknowledge his talent regardless of how we feel about Kyrie Irving personally. Off the court, on the court, when he scores 60, we're not going to care. He's talented. So regardless of what comes with that, We gotta respect him. We gotta respect his talent. Kyrie has a chip on his shoulder every night, strictly off of his vaccination status. He has to perform. And when he performs like this, it's just another day that we forget about his vaccination status and we see how talented this man is on the court. He got a chip on his shoulder, bro. For real.
Part-time status, he too is one of the league's most elite players. And as the weeks go along, more and more stars join in on the scoring frenzy. Trae Young goes for 47, but is overshadowed by a 53-point performance by KD. And so he comes back with 46 points the very next night, but is outdone once again by Stephen Curry's 47-point birthday special and Cat's 60-point explosion.
By the way, Steph Curry birthday a day before mine. I didn't even know that to this year. Shout out to Curry.
On the same exact day. And as if things couldn't get any more out of hand, Kyrie follows up the performance of the season by matching Towns' 60 with a 60 bomb of his own. One thing I've been absolutely sure of for years is that the best scorers in the NBA could average 40 a game if they wanted to. And if the past couple weeks isn't proof of that, I'm not sure what is. Because when you can score at the level of Steph and Durant and Kyrie, the difference between 30 and 50 is simply shooting more shots, which might possibly be the most obvious statement of the year. But many fans disagree with this idea. Oftentimes their rebuttal being, if they could average 40 a night, why don't they? To which I can assume that person has never really played basketball before. Because despite being the best offensive options on their teams, these ultra-elite offensive talents can't just put up 30 shots a game. That would be a locker room disaster. Teammates would feel uninvolved, the offense would become stagnant, and it just isn't winning basketball. Michael Jordan ran into this problem a lot prior to the 1990 NBA season. Mike was scoring 40 points literally every other game for 3 years. He even had a stretch where he scored 40-plus points in 12 of 14 games. The dude could get a bucket at will. But it took him years to realize this style of play was never going to win him a championship. And as he found the exact role his team needed him to play, he began to win more and more as he scored the ball less and less. Trust me, if Kevin Durant wanted to average 40 a game, he could and would. If Giannis wanted to, he could. In fact, I'd argue that there are about a dozen players in the NBA right now that could go out and give you 40 a night if that was their sole mission. KD, Giannis, Steph, Kyrie, Harden, Embiid, Luka, LeBron, Ja, Trae, Jokic, Tatum.
Booker.
All of them could give you insane
Don't forget Booker, man. Devin Booker's a bucket, man. Come on.
scoring numbers every night. But like every great player knows, that will never get them to their ultimate goal. Take Kevin Durant, for example. Top 5 bucket getter in NBA history, but doesn't have crazy scoring averages. This season, when Durant scores 30 points or more, his numbers look like this. Now, when he scores between 20 and 30 points this season, his shooting numbers
Kevin
look like
Durant
this.
is efficient,
The
bro.
only real difference is how many shots he's putting up. Now, riddle me this. If Durant's efficiency is nearly the exact same from 20 points to 30 points, do you think his efficiency would change from 30 points to 40? Time's up. The answer is no. Durant, among other offensive stars, could absolutely give you crazy numbers every night if that was their only objective. And over the last 3 weeks, we've seen what happens when stars make scoring their only objective. But I think possibly the most glaring example of this came back in 1994. Going into the last game of the season, a 21-year-old Shaquille O'Neal and prime David Robinson were neck and neck in the race for the scoring title. Both players having an average of exactly 29.3 points per game. In his last game of the season with the scoring title on the line, Shaq scored 32 points, keeping his scoring average virtually the same as it was before. But apparently David Robinson wanted the scoring title just a bit more than Shaq did, since Robinson exploded for a career-high 71 points in the final game of the season, bringing his scoring average from 29.3 to 29.8 and securing the scoring title for the season. Now, both Shaq and David played their last games of the season on the same night, but David's game was earlier in the day, which means he had to put up as many points as possible in hopes that Shaq wouldn't top him later that day. So going into the game, David and the Spurs had one goal and one goal only.
Give him the ball.
Give David the ball and get him as many points as humanly possible.
Give him the ball.
Those 71 points were not a fluke. This historic night was no accident. David wanted to score a lot of points, and so he did just that. And there was nothing anyone could do about it. In an interview after the game, Robinson said, "It was unbelievable. As a leader, I just try to win games, but tonight my team really wanted me to shoot it. When the game started, they were looking for me almost every time down the court." Shaq also commented on Robinson's big night, saying, "They ran every play for him. If I hadn't been triple teamed and was selfish and tried to score every time I touched the ball, I could have scored 72. Like I said, big scoring nights are no fluke for great offensive players. If they want to go out and give you 50, they will go out and give you 50. Which brings us back to this unbelievable 3-week stretch of NBA basketball. Game after game of huge scoring nights and career highs. You know, it's too bad these players really want to win. Otherwise, we'd see this stuff far more often. There's nothing like tuning into a game and watching history unfold in real time. Watching the crowd erupt shot after shot, knowing the man with the hot hand is coming down the court with only a bucket on his mind and nothing the defense can do to stop him. When a great player decides he wants to go off, he's gonna go off. And when a dozen great players decide they want to go off, you get 50-point games every other night. So, I guess these games aren't really unbelievable. In fact, they're all part of the plan. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
Fire video from Jimmy High Roller. Hey, man, listen, real quick. If you watching this video, do me a favor, man. Do me a favor. Comment down below if you watched any if you watched any of the NBA games, which one in your opinion was your favorite 50-point game. Or well, I want to say 50-point game. Your favorite 40+ game. So all the games that he mentioned that everyone did within the last few weeks, which one was either your favorite or the one you were most surprised about? All of the players that did it, you're not really surprised about it, but like which one you thought was like lit for real? Now, I want to thank you guys for watching, for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the video. I am out. Peace.